Welcome to a bonus episode of Sports and Songs podcast. We're your hosts, Dan and Andy. Today's March 22. Andy, we got a midweek bonus special episode to focus on basketball, D1 college basketball, Sweet 16.
Yeah,
Getting down there.
Yeah, we record on Sundays, and there were so many games going on Sunday night yet, and the gals still had one game or two last night on Monday. Of course, Tuesday, the NITs. I mean, every night there was a game playing, but we figured lesser of the evils. We'll do a broadcast during the NIT game and go from there.
Yeah, the dust has settled for the most part of the first two rounds of both the NITs, the NCAA, the men's, the women's, the play-in games. It's lots to go through because we started with over 250 teams, I think, combined. Men's, women's, NIT, NCAA. Now we got the 68 team brackets. It's a lot. But now we're down to the final manageable amount, I'll call it.
Yes.
And you're going to tackle men's basketball. I'll tackle the women's side.
Okay.
Well, hopefully you can leave your comments down here below this. Share this and get it out there for this upcoming weekend's games.
Right. Like I said, our brackets are going pretty good for the page sites that we had going. I don't know who Art is, but I'm not happy with him. He's leading. So
Art, it's Art Vandelay.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
Shout out Art.
Is leading. I know who it is. He's leading the group.
He might be our new college basketball insider next year, I think. Might have to have him on a few times. We will start with the boys. NIT. NIT every year, the Final Four for that is always played in Madison Square Garden. So they always talk about going to Madison Square Garden. There is nothing wrong with the teams that make the NIT. There's just only 68 for the big one. Some of these schools are the ones where they're the smaller conference where they may have won the regular season but then lost their tournament. Well, if you win your tournament, you go to the big dance. So these are the schools that maybe won the regular season, didn't do well in the tournament. A school, I can't think of any offhand, but you didn't do good in the regular season, but you poured it on strong in your tournament, maybe made the finals and lost. NIT might give you a look. So here we go. Here's how their brackets went. Upper left, and you always play at the highest or best seed hosts. So here's the schools going there this way. We got Vanderbilt and Xavier heading down there, playing on tonight, March 22nd. Yep. So Dayton was the 1 seed. They went through. Vanderbilt was the 4, Florida the 3, Xavier the 2 in that brackets. And there's how they all went. Again, you see the other schools on there are probably schools you heard of throughout the year. I mean, Vanderbilt was the 4 seed at 17-16 record. Not the greatest. They were a 4 seed still. Belmont was 25-7 and was unranked because they were a smaller school.
Florida Gators.
Yep.
Vanderbilt.
Yep. So schools we've heard of, mostly in football. they have basketball too. So here's how that bracket went. Got Xavier and Vanderbilt playing tonight there. Quarters, lower bracket, there's Oklahoma was 18-15, was the 1 seed. So depends on who you are, where you go. North Texas had a good squad at 2 seed there. St. Bonaventure, which I'm watching play Virginia right now, just after halftime, St. Bonaventure is up. Look at how they had to travel.
Now the other thing. The other thing that's interesting is there's always some teams in this NIT that feel shorted or shortchanged by the NCAA tournament.
Right.
This year, it was Oklahoma that said, what? How could we not be in that tournament? Well, here they come to the NIT, they win handily, and then they lose. So you never know what to expect, even in the NIT. These are close games.
Yeah, and you look at the road St. Bonaventure had. They went to Colorado. Then 5 days later, they had to go to Oklahoma. Now they had to go to Virginia. So they are putting the miles on.
Yeah, there's no neutral games.
That's all. If you get that Final Four in Madison Square Garden, it's always the higher seed hosts. North Texas was, again, lost to Virginia, 24-6. They had a good argument to be there. So there's that game's going right there. Upper right of your bracket as you held your little sheet in your hands. SMU, 23-8 was the 1 seed, Washington State, St. Louis, the BYU were your top 5 seeds or 4 seeds over there. And we got BYU and Virginia and Washington State. Washington State sneaks in. They were the 4 seed. They come through, upset number 1 SMU by 13. So they were won their first game by 13. They won by 12 against SMU. BYU's been marching right along, so that should be a good game tomorrow night on the Deuce, as they used to call it. Again, these are good teams, good games, good records. I mean, you saw the one, 17 and 16 seed, or a score, but that was few and far between. These are winning records here. There's again, Alcorn was a 17 and 16 record. Utah State 18 and 15 was a 4 seed. So VCU was a 3, lost to the 2 seed Wake Forest. So that's kind of the way it goes. Texas A&M, they should be there. They're the 1 seed. So those are all good games coming up. These games are tonight and tomorrow on ESPN2. Like I said, watching St. Bonaventure and Virginia right now. Very good teams, very good games, fun to watch. I mean, because these guys are playing to win. They got pride because they got duked, or some of them think, out of the big tournament. This is their way of going through, and some of them are playing for college or for a pro. You see some good names come out of here yet. Shadow's going to help me here with the next round. Thanks, buddy. Okay, here we go. Men's Final Four is in New Orleans, which is kind of funny. The men's Final Four is in New Orleans. The women's up here in Minneapolis. Mississippi River connects them. What a coincidence. So there's the big bracket. It's going to look kind of ugly. I kind of had to do some cutting and pasting here. I'll blow up each bracket and get looking a little better how we're sitting right now. The West, the way it's supposed to be. 1 against 4, 3 against 2.
Perfect.
2 against 3. They got that switched on their graphics here. Duke was the 2 seed, Texas Tech the 3. But Gonzaga's motoring right along. Arkansas 4. They've been playing good. Everybody thought they'd get bounced. No. Duke and Texas Tech, I think, is going to be the best game in this whole bracket right here. No matter who wins that game against Gonzaga, that Duke and Tech game will be a fun one to watch. If you appreciate good basketball, good mind basketball between the coaches, that's going to be a good one to watch right there. Again, CBS botched it on their charts here. St. Peter's is the 15 seed, Purdue's the 3. Then UCLA and North Carolina. I want to say something about Purdue, the 3 seed. Kind of liked Purdue all year long. Then when the Big Ten tournament came, I was watching him a lot. It's Jordan Ivey kid. I've got the man crush on him. I love this kid.
Romance.
Oh, yes. Big time. Oh. So he's going to be a fun one to watch, as they say, at the next level. He'll be playing big league ball, I think. He's a good kid. Get more on that in a little bit. But so all these games look good, too. St. Peter's, yeah, they're the 15 seed. But you know what? They've played some good games. They're good enough to be here. There's no slouch. UCLA kind of surprised sneaking in there. And North Carolina. Yeah, they ruined my bracket, but you know what? It was worth it to see Carolina in there, so I'm okay with that. Upper right of your bracket, Arizona and Houston, which I had, and then Villanova and Michigan, which I did not. So Zona as a 1 seed, and Houston. I got Houston in the Final Four, so kind of biased on this one. One of my, them and Gonzaga are my 2 Final Four teams left, so go Houston. And because Houston started the year real good, hit some problems, and it's hard to make up ground in the seedings and the rankings. So watch for Houston. That should be a good game. Arizona's a good team too. Michigan, I'm not a fan. Smoke and mirrors, if you ask me, but they should have lost that game. They won. They pulled it out. I hope Villanova crushes them. Bottom of the page, Miami of Florida and Iowa State. I don't know what to say there. I mean, 2 good teams. They fought and got through, but anyone who says they had that right on their bracket is lying to you, or they filled out like 80 brackets and that matchup happened. Kansas and Providence 1 and 4. That should have happened. I mean, if you play the numbers, that should be right. Providence is a good team. I didn't see them before. Kansas is going to come out as what's left of this Midwest, I think, pretty easy. So that's that one. And like I said earlier about Jordan Ivey, his mom is the coach at Notre Dame, and their team's in the Sweet 16 also.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
So, Mother and son, both in the Sweet 16. Mom's coaching Notre Dame, and Jane Ivy playing for Purdue. So you don't see.
Wow, that's awesome.
Every now and then you see father son because they're on the same team. So here's mother son, two different schools, both the Sweet 16. So that's kind of cool to see that right there. Obviously that must be fun at the dinner table afterwards and the talk and stuff. But I thought that was pretty neat when I saw that this morning on Bleacher Reports on their Instagram. So shout out to Bleacher Report. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I saw that. Oh, that's right. I mean, you hear the names, but you don't put the two and two together when you're watching it.
Oh, imagine how rare that is. Now, has that ever happened even?
I don't think so. Especially, I mean, lady coaches, so I'm trying not to be a bias when I say this, but they're still coaching and their sons in college ball. Okay, first of all, how many female coaches have had their son play college ball D1?
Correct.
Well, let's look at that list there. Now the odds they're both in the Sweet 16. So that's got to be kind of cool. I'd hate to be the other brother or sister in that family or the dad in that family. It's like, yeah, don't mind me.
That afterthought.
Don't mind me. Yeah. But yeah, so the matchups are looking good. I know in our brackets on our page, tied for third. But I don't have many teams left, so
I've only got two left in the Final Four. So do you. So it'll be an interesting weekend.
Yes, it should be fun. It should be exciting. And I think Art's going to be a new basketball insider this next year.
Yes.
I'd have to have him on preseason to see what he picks.
We could do that. Yes.
Yes. So that's the men's side of the world. Division 2 is still going on. You can find that if you flip on the Deuce and ESPNU. I think they might have those games on. Those, again, good games to watch, competitive games. If they're in their finals, they're doing well. But the second game on ESPN tonight, a lot of you guys are going to be missing this later on. If you catch it, Scottie Pippen Jr. playing tonight too. So
which team?
I just caught the very end of it as I was watching here, looking at the screen at the bottom. So I did not see which team he was on. Scottie Pippen Jr. and so, and I couldn't catch the scroll. Not wearing my glasses. Sorry. I didn't see it. So I'll probably step watch that one too. Again, good player. He's not his old man. He's not the second coming, so don't get too excited there. But yeah, he's a good player. A lot of these kids here, remember some of these names. Like I said, Jane Ivy is the name you're going to hear a lot. Chet Holmgren for Gonzaga.
Oh, yes.
I think the big kid's going to stay another year, though, just to get more meat on his bones and figure out how to be a big man, how to move that big body. Because stuff like that I got coming up. I'm working on a special for this week or next. Zion Williams from Duke a couple years ago comes out as a freshman, signs a big contract. I don't think he's played more than 24 games, it feels like. He's always hurt. He's always injured. And funny, Pelicans signed him the big money. That's where I think some of these kids coming out of college, any sport, maybe sign to a 1 or 2 year deal just in case. They're still kids. They're still learning. So was that a bust? Is that a bad move? Do you not draft freshmen now in college because of that? Here's a vote for no on him. And the women are starting to get that way now too, where they can come out. I don't know if they come out early, but you're going to see them be more predominant, not per se going to Europe right away. There's more options to stay here.
Sure.
That's the men's bracket, sir. What do you got for the women's division?
All right, here's the women's. Can you see the screen here?
Yep, there we go.
And so I've got the women's college basketball updates. I've got NCAA and WNIT both here is what we'll be covering here tonight. The NIT was 68 teams versus the men's NIT was just 32. So we started with a larger group.
So congratulations to the women for getting all those teams in.
Yeah. A lot of teams. So now we're down to the Sweet 16. So easier to fit the brackets. I still had a hard time getting this all squeezed in here, but here's what we've got coming up for the NCAA women.
Yep.
Final 16 teams. I got all the brackets here to fit.
Yep.
And that's coming up here this weekend. The Final Four, Minneapolis, Minnesota. That will be good. Now that UConn game the other night, last night was very good. Very low scoring boy, interesting here with that. Now, on this bracket, it does not show the seeds and it does not show the team's records. It just shows their score. So I did an additional breakdown here I'm going to show you next.
Okay.
To kind of give you a little better flavor of what's coming up. Now, here's the WNIT. And here's the final 16 teams. Once again, just a screenshot. Might be a little small, but I'll get into the details here later. This is starting on, it is Thursday, I think. Yes, Thursday. And with this, every game is Thursday. Once again, elimination. All these games are Thursday because they've got to leave room for the NCAA tournament, which is going to be Friday, Saturday, and I think Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yep.
So if you put them all together, here's all the teams that remain, all the teams in alphabetical order that are still playing basketball in Division I, from Alabama down to Wyoming. So there's 16 teams in each of the tournaments left. Here's all 32 listed in alphabetical order. Now, we've got the tournament. What tournament they're in is to the left. But to the right of the rank, the end of the year where we ended the rank, the top 300 teams ranked at the end of the year, here's where they finished. And so no seedings here, but this is the rank of the remaining teams still in there. Now, next to that is the conference. Next to that is their overall record with the two wins, whether it was NIT or the NCAA. Each of these teams have won 2 games. And then their next game, when they play next. So if you're a fan of college basketball for women's, you can look at this list here, freeze the video on this, and look up your favorite team. If you're looking for basketball, not necessarily a favorite team, here's the games for the NIT, WNIT. The remaining teams here that all play Thursday, here's the teams that are left. Now look at some of the rankings there.
Wyoming's
120th best team in the nation for women's D1 basketball, and they're part of the final 32 still playing at D1 level. They came out of the Mountain West. Now, I do have one team highlighted. There's an under 500 team still playing, Andy, in the nation. We're at the end of March, and Vanderbilt from the SEC, 16 and 18 record right now, and they'll be playing Thursday.
And ranked 77th.
Two teams made the NIT for the women's that have losing records. The University of Minnesota Golden Gophers was the other women's team that came in with a losing record. They won their first game and then got beat their second game. But here's the remaining teams. Vanderbilt's still in it. They're ranked 77th in the nation. And so here's all the games Thursday. Heavy slate. Now, not a lot of the big crowd follows the NCAA, but for those following the NIT, the women's, like Andy, you said, these games are still at the host site, at the team with the better record is hosting these games. It's not even at. These are not neutrals. Well, let's see. Let me go back.
And I will say one thing here. Unlike the men, you got 2 from the Mountain West and no Big Ten teams left for the women. So,
yeah, there is no Big Ten team left for the women's.
South Dakota State, Summit League. Yeah.
And I think that was South Dakota State that beat the Gophers, right?
I can't remember. I know South Dakota State beat
so this listing I just took, it's alphabetical order, so there's no other order to this other than alphabetical. But
yeah, that's great.
The records there, a lot of teams up there with this NIT. These are some good matchups. And so that's the full slate on Thursday for NIT women. Lose and go home, you're done. So this is going to cut that number in half. Now, for the NCAA women's, here's the games Friday on the top and the teams that are playing on Saturday. Now, I don't have the brackets listed. We showed them on the previous, but I wanted to break it down here as far as the rank of some of these teams that are still playing and that are still involved. So there's the games. There's the teams that are active on Friday night, and then the teams on Saturday. Big Ten, you see Michigan in there. You see Indiana. You see Ohio State. You see Maryland.
And there's South Dakota. They had a big win over the weekend there too.
And then you also see the smaller schools as well. But look at the rankings. Very interesting to see where they scatter in the NCAA tournament with the remaining 16 teams in the Sweet 16. Ohio State sitting down there at 31 out of the Big Ten.
4 Big Ten teams matches the record from last year for most Big Ten teams this late in the season.
Okay. That's tough. It's tough to do. Here's the breakout by conference now.
Yep.
And this is combined. Now keep just
Okay. Yep.
NCAA and NIT combined, but the ACC still has 5 teams, women's teams still actively playing. Then you get down to some of those smaller. So there's 32 teams. There is the total. And now if you look at the rank, here's a sort by rank for the NCAA teams of the final 16 teams that are left. Not the seeding, but the actual ranking at the end of the year. So you got a 1, 2, 3, and a 4 are still active, still playing. That is going to be awesome to see those teams still in there. Then you get single digits, and then all the rest double digits from 14 all the way down to 33. And so those bottom 3 teams essentially that are still in it, that are still playing, were not even on the final AP top 25 ranking when the season ended. Now they find themselves in the Sweet 16. Hats off to them. It takes luck, skill, talent, everything combined to win these games here.
And the 6 and 10 seeds missing, I bet you'd be Baylor and Iowa.
Oh, yes.
That's probably who's missing there, the 6 and the 10 rank.
Yes.
Yep. South Dakota beat Baylor. So
Iowa got beat. That was a surprise. And Baylor, those are the 2 that got knocked out of it. Now, Iowa State still in it. Look for them. They're ranked 9th. They were tough. And I also think that Maryland team could be a surprising one also. But UConn looked good. They got everyone healthy now. But these matchups, like you said earlier, Andy, on the Big Ten, on the NCAA for the men's, you get some of these good matchups. It may not be the best teams in the nation, but you get these teams that are pretty favorable in the mid-range there. You never know what could happen. Now for the WNIT, here's the final rankings in order for the remaining teams. So really we got ranked 36 teams, ranked 36 down to 120 for the rest of the teams in here. And that's also what makes this interesting, I think.
And look at all those teams below Vanderbilt who has a sub 500 record. That just blows me away. Drexel 28-5, and they're below them.
They're below them in a ranking, and the record is 28-5 for Drexel. So that does go to show. I never put anything together like this before, Andy, and it kind of woke me up a little bit to some of these facts of the smaller schools who run up huge, ungodly records. But when they put the rankings together with strength of schedule, strength of conference, and then they drop way down like that, New Mexico 5-9, ranked 101.
Could we get an intern to go back there? Dan just said he was woke. I just want that noted for the record.
Whoa, shocked.
Yeah,
these are some good matchups because they're all middle of the pack, 30 ranking down to 120.
And it's strength of schedule too, unfortunately, for some of these schools. Drexel 28-5, but they're not going to get a lot of games against Stanford or South Carolina or Iowa early in the season. So you feel kind of bad for them, but that's the way it is too.
Now, if you look at the very top, South Dakota State ranked 36. The NCAA tournament brings in the top 68 teams in that tournament, and they didn't even make it. Now, once again, they only get one team to go, so they had a 24-9 record, had an excellent regular season. Didn't win the tournament, so they don't get the bid. And so, like you said earlier, Andy, they're coming here to play. They still have a lot of pride coming to this second-tier tournament, so to say.
Yeah, that's how South Dakota got in. They won that tournament, beat South Dakota State.
Oh, yes.
So, the men's NIT, you're the team who loses. So they send you you won the regular season maybe, or you had a good tournament. There you go.
So Vanderbilt's still only team left in both of these brackets that we went through today, men's and women's, with a losing record that's still in the tournament. But we're down to the final 32 for women's basketball that still has their season and their hopes alive.
Yeah, it's you can say it about the first round, maybe like the play-in games, the final first 4, whatever they call it. Because those teams are really fighting too. But now, like St. Peter's for the men's, they're a 15 seed. Big deal. It doesn't matter anymore. You're in the Sweet 16. You're ranked 16th then, if you want to put it that way.
Correct. And you never know what they come out with these tournaments. The firepower that come out. Everyone gets to be healthy. The chemistry is working. St. Peter's, for instance, has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
They got nothing to lose. So
They have no
There's
tape on you.
stress
You have no
on
tape on them.
There's no target on their back like the big schools, but that's why this is a fun time of year, I think.
And I can't remember his name. The coach for St. Peter. The stat I heard is last time, because St. Peter is based in New Jersey. The last time a team from New Jersey for the men's was in the Sweet 16, so when that coach played for Seton Hall.
Oh, really?
The coach for St. Peter. So he was there as a player. He's been there. So that's kind of helping. You always hear that story that, oh, this team, they're going to get blown away. They don't know what they're doing. Hey, the coach has been there. Yes, years ago, but he's been there. He kind of knows, all right, boys, here's how you get mom and dad to travel in. Here's how you get he knows how that game is played. Because that's where some of these smaller fish, if you will, get lost in this stuff. They get overwhelmed by it.
Yes.
So hopefully we get this coach or get some coaches who've been there and can help with that.
Now, for the on the women's side for the NCAA, it'll be interesting for us Minnesotans to watch because we'll be able to see this coming weekend who will be here in 2 weeks at the Final Four.
That's at U.S. Bank. Is it Target Center or U.S. Bank?
I think it's at Target Center, yes.
Target Center, okay. All right. I know they might have some stuff at the bank, and I know there's some bands that are playing downtown coming up.
Yeah, there's a lot of events, but I do believe the games themselves, there's only just those 3 games, but Target Center is going to host all that. And in the men's, like you said, New Orleans, Nolens,
as I say, as the locals say.
Awesome. So we'll get this out there. Please feel free to comment, share, and I think that's really it. Anything else?
Yeah. We'll follow up our picks over the weekend show, update our stuff as we're going. Probably won't do a Final Four special. We'll just have that just on regular social media stuff, just on the Facebook page and stuff like that. Watch that, and maybe we'll get that old blog thing atop, typing up and for our picks for the Final Four.
Oh yes, that could be an opportunity for that to get some action on the old blog site.
Yes.
All right, sounds good. Enjoy your basketball, everybody.
That's right. Thanks. See ya.